You made a decision today. Maybe it was small, what to eat, what to skip. Maybe it was big, a job, a relationship, a choice you're still unsure about. Here's the wild part. That decision wasn't really yours. It was built by a version of you who had certain experiences, certain fears, certain stories playing on repeat in the background. And unless you do something very specific, something I'm about to show you, that same version of you will keep making the same decisions forever. This isn't a lecture. I'm not going to throw science at you and leave. Stick with me for 8 minutes. Your thinking will not be the same after this. Imagine a guy, 32, works in sales. Smart enough to know he's stuck, not smart enough to figure out why. Every morning he wakes up and tells himself today is the day. Today he calls that lead, has that conversation, takes that risk. And every night he goes to bed having done none of it. He's not lazy. He's not broken. He's just thinking the same thoughts on a loop. And those thoughts are building a ceiling he can't see. Now here's the thing. Most people look at someone like him and say, he just needs more motivation, or he needs better habits. But they're wrong, dead wrong, because motivation fades. Habits break. But a changed mind, a genuinely changed mind, that's permanent. And you can do it without a therapist, without a retreat, without spending a single dollar. Here's the problem with the way most of us think. We believe our thoughts are reactions to the world. Something happens, we think about it. The boss is rude, we feel stressed. The bank account is low, we feel scared. Makes sense, right? Except that's backwards. Your thoughts don't react to your reality. Your reality builds itself around your thoughts. Neuroscientists have known this for decades. The brain isn't a camera. It's a prediction machine. Before anything even happens, your brain has already decided what it's going to feel about it. So when that guy in sales tells himself, I'm probably going to fail this call anyway, his brain has already built the version of that call where he fails. And then he fails. And then he says, see, I knew it. It's not pessimism. It's not bad luck. It's a thought pattern acting like gravity, pulling everything toward the outcome it already predicted. The question is, can you fight gravity with just your mind? A long time ago, there was a man sitting in prison, not a jail for criminals, a prison built out of circumstance, illness, and loss. Everything had been taken from him. And instead of breaking, he did something unusual. He started writing, not about what was happening to him, but about how he was choosing to see it. He wrote that the obstacle in front of you isn't the problem. The obstacle is the path. That the moment you stop resisting what's happening and start examining how your mind is relating to it, that's the moment you become free. He changed his mind, not his situation, just his mind. And from that small shift, he built a philosophy that still reshapes how millions of people live today. No self-help course, no breakthrough moment, just thought. Directed, intentional, disciplined thought. So how does it actually work? Let me get specific. Your brain has a default narrator. It's always running commentary. That was embarrassing. She didn't text back. She probably hates me. I don't deserve that opportunity. Most people treat this narrator like truth, like it's a reporter delivering facts. But it's not. It's a writer, and a pretty dramatic one, who built its entire script from your past experiences. Here's the first move: separation. The next time a heavy thought hits you, something like, I'm gonna fail, or this won't work, don't argue with it. Don't fight it. Just get a little distance. Say to yourself, I'm noticing a thought that says I'm gonna fail. That's it. 4 extra words. I'm noticing a thought. That gap, that tiny space between you and the thought, is where everything changes. Because the moment you observe a thought instead of becoming it, you've already rewired something. You've reminded your brain that you are not the narrator. You're the one who hears the narrator. Let's go back to our guy in sales. He starts doing this, just this one thing. Every time his brain says, you're gonna blow this, he pauses, takes one breath, and says, I notice I'm telling myself a story about failure. The first week, nothing changes. The story still runs, he still feels it, but here's what he doesn't realize yet. The story has lost its grip. Before, he'd see an unread email from a difficult client and feel his chest tighten. Now there's a half-second delay, and in that delay, he chooses. Week 3, he makes the call he's been avoiding for 6 months. Not because he stopped being scared. He was still scared. He just stopped letting fear pretend to be fact. That's the shift nobody talks about. Changing your mind isn't about becoming fearless. It's about making fear lose its authority over your decisions.
Now, there's a second layer to this, and this one is harder. Most of us have a belief that runs so deep, we don't even know it's a belief. We think it's just reality. Things like, people like me don't get that kind of success, or relationships always fall apart eventually, or the quiet one that nobody admits, I'm not someone who finishes things. These aren't thoughts you have, these are thoughts that have you. One of the greatest generals who ever lived said something fascinating near the end of his career. He said the most dangerous battlefield isn't the one in front of you, it's the one inside you. The stories you've accepted without ever questioning whether you chose them. He didn't mean this as poetry, he meant it as strategy. Because the most effective move you can make in any situation, professional, personal, financial, is to audit the stories you've inherited. Where did that belief come from? Did someone tell you that when you were 9? Did you experience one failure and build a law around it? If so, the law is fake. You made it, and you can unmake it. Here's the full practice. 3 steps. Takes 5 minutes a day. Step 1, at night, before you sleep, write down one belief that shaped a decision you made that day. Not the decision, the belief underneath it. Why you said no to something. Why you held back. Step 2, ask a single question. If the opposite of this belief were true, what would I have done differently today? Don't answer with logic. Just sit with it. Let your brain actually picture the alternative version of the day. Step 3, in the morning, pick one small action that the alternative version of you would take. Not a huge shift, just one thing. 5 minutes of courage instead of 5 minutes of avoidance. Here's what happens over 30 days of this, and I mean this seriously. The narrative starts to rewrite itself, not because you forced it, but because you gave your brain new evidence, new data points, new chapters in the story. You are not your thoughts, but your thoughts are building your life every single day.
Here's what I want to leave you with. You're never stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of the story you've agreed to tell yourself about your circumstances. And stories, unlike circumstances, can be rewritten right now, in this moment, with nothing but your own attention. The greatest shifts in history, in individuals, in movements, in entire societies, didn't start with action. They started with someone deciding to think differently, to question what everyone else had already accepted as permanent. You watched this whole video. That means something in you already knows it's time. Don't just watch this. Do the 5-minute practice tonight. One belief, one question, one alternative. And come back and tell me what changed, because I genuinely want to know. And if your mind still feels restless after everything you have, that's not a flaw. That's a signal. What it's actually telling you, it's on your screen right now.